back. We had a problem and it corrupted our old footage. But basically, this is what if Naruto was neglected and could absorb anything with a twist. Basically, his clones will give him power 2 times 200 times the experience, as well as 2 times whatever form of physical strength they did. Of course, the things that most of them do are similar at the start: child of prophecy, blah blah blah, and also them neglecting him. And on the 5th birthday, they declared Minma and Mito the clan heirs. Is basically what I did when on the first one. So that all that happens. He ran away crying. He accidentally activated this dojutsu whirlpool eye, and he can only see 100 footsteps in front of him. So with this, but he can copy any jutsu perfectly once in that range, and it can be anywhere around him. Either way, let's continue. And now he copied the shadow clone, and he says shadow clone jutsu, and made 600 clones. As he was running away, he accidentally started away using his power and absorbing taijutsu chakra, as there's 3 different chakras here: taijutsu, ninjutsu, and genjutsu. So he used taijutsu chakra. So he started absorbing nature energy, and it fused with his full chakra pool. And he said as he summoned 600 now, and he says 100 of you were actually, you know what? No, 1,100. Let's just say 1,100, because Sage Mode is basically a ton of nature energy, and it makes his powers much more powerful. So let's just say it did that because he fused it with his very chakra, and it was like a ton, like more than all the stone tones and toads that were turned from human to toad, and all that, as well as all 3 legendary Saiyaman have done in their lifetimes. So yeah, basically that's how much he absorbed. So it's gonna be a ton. It's just his physical power is not going to be enhanced by the taijutsu chakra. He can only use taijutsu chakra for enhanced movement, and it gets more potent. He says 100 of you work on taijutsu, 500 of you, each 100 on working on an element. And as for the other 500 of you, I want 100 of you to work on potenting down our chakra altogether. 100 of you to use this new dojutsu on Jonin, and try and upgrade the sight level and use it on like Jonin and Abu for more jutsus. Also, it's like a hive mind between all the clones, and once he releases it, he'll know everything that they knew. So yeah, now 100 of you work on sealing, 100 of you work on resistance, and 100 of you would do, instead of the physical taijutsu aspect, work on speed, because that's what you said, work on speed and run around. As they do this, and the Funjutsu has gone to the point where they started doing power restricting seals, intelligence restricting seals, and he says we skip multiple years, as he's been letting the clones stay for several years. They're all using as the absorbed nature energies going into their very chakra, making it more potent and making them last longer. So yeah, and now we see as we skip 2 years, he's been neglected by his family. He's been going back home. And it's finally time. And once he reaches 8, he's gonna go to the academy. Menma and Mito are really cocky, and basically they decide, you know what? Let's see what we're much stronger than that loser of a brother. So I think we should suggest to spar him. And no, they say, let's wait until the academy, as they were given access to do it when they were 7, and they're 2 years younger. And they're like, we're gonna say, actually no, once they're 8. Yeah, 8. And they're 1 year younger than Naruto. Actually no, when it happens in it, yeah, I'd say, yeah, they're 1 year younger. Actually, no. Their bodies seem to be 1 year younger, but but they are still just like a few seconds younger than him. And he's been very angry, like very, very angry. He's been letting them train, and he's like, I think it's finally time to. I'm gonna release them at the end, just at the very end of the academy, as he starts training even more, as he starts training on his own to not rise suspicion. And we see as Minato and Kushina stop noticing him slowly. He ends up going to Ichiraku and eating his heart out. He starts to train on his own as well. And we skip 1 year. He goes to the academy and starts doing that stuff. And we skip one more. And now they're all 8. They are all going to the academy. Minma and Mito, of course, do a flashy entrance while Naruto just walks in, not timidly, but kind of, what would be the right wording? Kind of like trying to sneak past them, not wanting to talk to them. And he says, "Hey, loser," Minma says. And Mito says, "Oh, the loser's right here. I'm surprised he even made it to the academy." And they both laugh. And may I add, everybody like the whole village basically neglects him except Shikamaru. I'll say only Shikamaru and Choji, because Shikamaru and Choji are really nice people, and I can't corrupt them in canon. Like, I've already corrupted enough. Like, Kushina and Minato will eventually see the error of their ways, but Jiraiya won't. Let's just face it, Jiraiya won't in this. And now we see as Naruto starts training, it's fun. We skip until they're 12 at the end of the academy. They decide, and we see as Naruto, it is just before the academy entrance, he releases all the clones, and all the information and power goes to it. All of his chakra is potented down. They absorb so much nature energy that instead, see that extremely faded green at just in the middle there? Yeah, that's the normal taijutsu chakra of a 12-year-old. However, it's gotten to become this. As for this is his raw chakra. Think of this, like the middle of where the chakra aura around someone would be, is around 5,000 times, is around 10 times bigger than Kushina's taijutsu chakra. Now, this is about 20 times more than Kushina's chakra reserve. Is about 5 times more chakra than Kushina, ninjutsu chakra than Kushina. And then as for genjutsu, Minato's more proficient in this. In this, I'm going to say he's half Uchiha. It's just he cannot awaken the Sharingan. Same with Minma and Mito. So yeah, that's basically that. So however, Naruto has a genjutsu chakra way bigger than Minato's. His genjutsu chakra, let's say the Sharingan has a genjutsu chakra of 10. He has one of 5 because he doesn't have the Sharingan. However, Naruto has roughly around 100 compared to his 5, which is equal to the Mangekyo without even wielding his which is actually, you know what? It will be 250, and with AKA the level of genjutsu of the Tsukiyomi, but not Kodo Mazukami. So yeah, and we see as he recently created 3 swords that he would use. He would have the taijutsu sword in his mouth. His taijutsu sword would be on his right hand. His genjutsu sword would be on the left, and his chakra sword would be in his mouth. And he could blow through the chakra sword to make his ninjutsu even stronger. And that's basically it. He created he's like, I'll forge 3 swords. And he forges 3 out of this one, out of pure taijutsu chakra. Actually, you know what? He only has enough energy and chakra right now to make one of the 3. So for now, we're gonna since his chakra is the biggest because is the biggest of all his ninjutsu is chakra is the biggest out of the three he has. He creates a ninjutsu chakra sword and seals it into his left hand, which is where his ninjutsu chakra sword goes. Right, and he will have seals all over on his mouth, his left hand and right hand for the swords. As we see him walk in the academy, as he's had the same problem, and he has immense chakra control, and he says multi shadow clone as he's a shadow clone jutsu and creates. Actually, no, he says clone jutsu and creates one. As they say, he must have such weak chakra reserves. As right now, it's super potent. As we continue, he has such immense power that he's gonna hide for the most part, as he does the bare minimum to pass. And since everyone did a little bit better than him, he would be. And the rookie of the year is Menma, is tied between Menma and Sasuke. Just so you know, it's an exact tie. They call them prodigies, but we all know that ain't true. But either way, let's continue. They get a team with 2 Jonin Sensei and 5 members. Sasuke, Menma, Mito, Sakura, and Naruto. Because Naruto was the dead last. Because he barely tried. He did the bare minimum. As we see them all be there. And they say, why did we have to get this loser on our team? And he is leaving as he's gonna leave once the getting exam thing is over, like the bell test, because there is gonna be a bell test. Also, Jiraiya is only a little bit nice to him. He's not really mean to him. He sells him. He made a seal for him that would automatically give him a copy of every Icha Paradise book, as he said that it would be good for bargaining all shinobis. And he finished with number 2, but it hasn't came out yet. So he creates a number 2 as for Kakashi. So yeah, Kakashi, this says, hey kid, as we see the bell test, Minma, Mito, Sasuke and them, and Sakura, they are miserably failing, like miserably, like we talk big, like ultra miserably failing. That's how much they're failing. And we see as Naruto starts to release his taijutsu, as he learned the 8 gates using the dojutsu. However, it took a while, and he's only at the 3rd gate. So I think I remember them. He says, open, gate of opening, as he opens it. Open, gate of life. It opens. Then he says, I believe after that is open, gate of pain. And he activates the gate of pain. And he rushes at her with immense, like we're talking ultra immense taijutsu chakra. And we see as they are actually struggling against this. As well, in the 3rd gate, he is on the level of both of them combined. So he's keeping with ninjutsu and genjutsu. So he says genjutsu, as it's only on Tsukuyomi level. So, but only like a Tsukuyomi you can break. However, it's very hard to break. That's the level of genjutsu, basically, is what I'm saying. So he says breakable Tsukuyomi, and they get sent into Tsukuyomi, and Kushina uses 50% of all her chakra. Actually, no, 75% of her chakra, and Kakashi uses 50% of his chakra, so they can break fully free from the genjutsu. However, it really strained their chakra, and they're like, we're getting low on chakra. And by the way, whenever someone reaches 1% chakra is when they knock out. 1%, once they reach 0% chakra, that means like chakra that they can use without knocking out. So yeah, as they start weaving hand signs, and he starts weaving hand signs, as he learned what majestic flame destroyer from someone who tried to attempt it but thought, no, what, I don't like it, is what they did. But they attempted it once, and he was able to learn the hand signs. So he says, as they hear water style, actually no, fire style, great fireball jutsu, knowing that he could probably dispel it, even with a wind boost, due to him being on both of their level. But only in third gate. They think that his taijutsu is extreme, that he's only good at taijutsu and and only knows a little bit of ninjutsu after this, thinking that he only knows the majestic flame destroyer. As he says fire style, majestic flame destroyer, as he uses it, as it destroys the fireball and it engulfs it. However, his ninja, well, yes, he has a ton of experience. He isn't all powerful. So he proceeds to use. So he unseals the ninjutsu sword, and which actually no ninjutsu. If I remember, I meant to place on the mouth. Yeah, on the mouth. He places the ninjutsu sword on the mouth, and on the spot creates a. Sorry, I messed up the ninjutsu sword placement, as he places it on his mouth, and he creates the taijutsu and genjutsu on the spot by absorbing as he absorbed some of both of their chakras and fused it with his own, as they were also fairly potent. And because of this, he was able to make the genjutsu from Kakashi's Sharingan. It gave him enough. And then as for the taijutsu, both of their taijutsu chakra was drained enough to where he could finally create them, as he now has all of them, as he doesn't need hand signs because of how much immense chakra he has, as they hear fire style, majestic flame, destruction, actually no, scorch style, majestic flaming suns, they hear, as he summons a giant sun from his mouth, and they barely block it using all their coldest water style jutsu. And this is where we leave it off on a cliffhanger. Bye, guys.